Hi, thanks for joining me again for number 6 in this little series where I'm making easy make batch cards so I can choose a design for my Christmas cheer event. If you look back at the previous few videos, you'll see what I'm talking about, or if you look on my blog, which is craftylittleblog.com. Day one was this card, which I make a card, prototype, and then I do a variation of it for the video. Today, actually, I'm not doing a variation. I'm doing exactly the same thing again, more or less. So this was prototype. This was the actual card. That was day one. This was day 2. This was prototype. This was the actual card. This, that wasn't day 3. This was day 3. This was my prototype. It was a bit too fussy, so I made it easier for the actual finished product. If you look at video number 3 or blog post number 3, you'll see how I changed that as I was going along, made it up as I went along. Number 4 was our black and white card with the musical notes. Very simple, very basic, very quick and very easy. Number 5 was our foiled speciality. I say it like I do speak French, but I kind of say it as if it's a French word. Speciality paper. And again, they were nearly the same. The only thing that was different was I used champagne foil and gold foil. So today we're going to go blue because we haven't done anything blue yet. So we're going blue and we're using Season Like Christmas, and we're going to make this gorgeous card. I just loved how this turned out. I had no idea what it was going to look like. Absolutely love this stamp set. These trees, you just can't go wrong with them. I have got a stamping platform. I've got the Tim Holtz stamping platform, the tonic, is it the tonic one, I think? But you know, I haven't used that for this, but it is great for getting this perfect if you just want a tree every time. And I've used Better Together for the sentiment. I've used Soft Sky cardstock here on white, okay? And I've used Tranquil Tide, no I haven't. I've used Dapper Denim, Soft Sky inks, and I've used Basic Black for the trunk. You might want to use a brown shade or a grey shade for the trunk, depending on how sort of stark you want it to look. Everything's shifting out of place, but never mind. I don't really care as long as you can see what I'm doing. So let's get started. You'll need your Soft Sky and your Dapper Denim inks. So let's get those open. You'll need your Seasons Like Christmas stamp set, and I've already stamped the sentiment, the Merry Christmas. I'm not even sure how big this is. I just made it, it's 3 by 4 centimetres, that one, and the layer is nearly 5 by 4.5 if you need those measurements. Centimetres, not inches, of course. We're just going to use this stem, this, and this. And I don't know if I'm using them properly or not, and I don't care. I'm using them the way I want to use them. Right, so this is a 4x4 card base. I'm not quite sure if the card size is specific for the Christmas cheer event. It might be sort of the A6 size, which means it would have to be a little bit taller than this, but all of these designs will work on whatever size card you're doing. So I'll find that out before I start my event. It doesn't stop me doing this little project. So yeah, so that's 8x4 scored down the middle at 4. I've got a piece of Soft Sky, which is 3 3/4 square, and a piece of Whisper White, which is 3.5 square. Okay, so I'm going to start off by just stamping a similar image to this. I might not get the same because because that's quite specific, isn't it? I mean, I'm not going to bother trying to place them in exactly the same place. When I do this for batch making, of course, I would use a piece of 12 by 12 and I would just stamp Christmas trees all over it, or pine trees, whatever they are, all over it, and then just cut it up into pieces so you'd get whatever you got there. To give a bit of depth, I've kind of brought some forward and set some back, gave that impression of depth. I'm not an artist, I leave that to my relatives to be artists. So I'm just going to bring one quite close to the front, take one to be sort of central and a bit of a focal point, and take one off to the side a little bit. Okay, so that's all we need the basic black for. And like I say, you might want to do that with something like what's that lovely early espresso or something like that. You might even want to do it in grey. You might even want to do it in a really dark green, something like Tranquil Tide or something. It's up to you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp on I'm going to use this stamp to stamp on the Dapper Denim. And I can't even remember if that's what I did last time or not, but here we go. So you just want to look to find your little piece of tree that's sticking up and line it up with the bit that's kind of missing on your stamp. And it doesn't matter, you can do this without stamping up in between, inking up in between. It doesn't matter if it's not perfect, it doesn't matter at all. Just go for it. And then I'm going to remove that stamp, give it a clean in a minute, and then I'm going to just replace it with the other one. Whoops. I'm using a pretty big block for this. I'm just going to get rid of that Dapper Denim. I'm going to put it over there a minute because I've got a habit of putting my hands and my elbows in. That's why I'm always covered in ink. And then we're going to go for it with this on top. Oh, look at that. I don't even care if it's not lined up perfectly. I'm not bothered. Anyone wants to start telling me I should have done this and I should have done that, I should have done what I wanted to do, and this is what I wanted to do. And there we go. Doesn't that look lovely? It looks effective. It might not be perfect. It might not be the textbook way to use this stamp, but it's the way I've used the stamp and I love it. So that's what it's all about. It's about pleasing yourself. Right, so now I'm just going to get this little sort of snowdrift stamp. I'm going to put it in the Dapper Denim. I'm just going to stamp it off. And I'm just going to put it under this tree here. And just put it under that one there. I've left this sort of gap because I'm only doing it in a small scale. If I was obviously making a massive sheet, why does my thing keep sliding off? If I was making a massive sheet, I might be mindful of the fact that I had to cut it into smaller pieces and watch what I was doing, but because I'm using a smaller sheet, it allows me a little bit more license to do what I want. So I'll leave that bit blank because I'm going to stick my little sentiment up there. I might want to even make this smaller. I might put it on a little jaunty angle, who knows. So let me get my Tombow and stick this layer on. Again, if you're batch making, you'd cut all your pieces up to start with. Well, I'd cut all everything that needed cutting, you know, like that aren't going to be stamped on. I'd stamp big sheets. I'd cut out all my sentiments using all my scraps, and that's how I'd go at it. If I had to do die cutting, I'd do all my die cutting, put all my components in little trays or boxes, and then start putting them all together. I do a few charity projects, so I do quite a bit of batch making this time of year. Right, just stick your sentiment onto the background. Stick another couple of, it's stuck to my finger. I'm just doing this for speed, but you can put more on. And then, shall I leave it, or shall I put it like that? Oh no, I'm not going to put it like that because then the envelope's not going to fit. I think I'm just going to leave it as a square or a sort of a flush sentiment. Obviously, if I was batch making properly, I'd cut all these out so I'd sort of know they were 1 inch by 2 inch whatever, and I would just go cut straight down in strips and across in strips and just make loads of them. So that's it, that's that card. You can see because the ink is sort of thicker on this one than this one, that they look a little bit different, and but they both look great. They both look great. I'm happy with both of them. I'm happy even where the stamp hasn't stamped properly. I think it's lovely. I think it doesn't matter whether it's stamped properly or it hasn't. It's just a lovely stamp, this, and it just gives you such a lovely image, and it doesn't need to be perfect to look fantastic. So that's that one done. That's number 6. So just one more to do now, and that's tomorrow, number 7. And then the next day we'll be doing the box to put them all in, and the day after that we'll start the challenge entries, or that day we'll start the challenge entries. Just a little recap of where we're at with all the cards we've done so far. Look at them all. And somebody is going to win all of these cards in a handmade box. Well, they're not going to win it. They're going to be gifted all of these cards in a handmade box that I'm also going to show how to make on day 8. Yeah, and they can do what they like with them. Oh, they're gorgeous. Do you know what? I personally am finding it very hard to choose one already. I think my daughter loved this one and this one. My son really loved this one. I quite like this one, and to be honest, from a speed making perspective and a prep perspective, that one is quite easy. Of course, the Whisper White cardstock's cheaper. This one shows a bit of stamping, you know, hand stamping. I don't know. I mean, this one I love because it's a little bit quirky, and I quite love quirky things. Oh, I don't know. I don't know which one I would choose as my favourite, so I'm glad that I'm handing that responsibility over to my viewers and followers and subscribers. So tomorrow is the last card, and then we get on with choosing the one that I'm going to use for my event. Sorry, I've been a bit, my words aren't flowing very well today. I'm a bit tired, to be honest, and I talk all the time when I'm doing other, you know, in other aspects of my life. So I'm just a bit, I've had enough of talking. I just want to relax and be quiet and do something else with my mouth instead of speak. Okay, so take care. Remember to follow on social media, or just go and check out social media if you want more entries for the giveaway, because the more places you comment in, the more places you're going to get an entry, just simply because I can't be sifting through, and people have different names on different forums and stuff. So I'm just going to, everyone who comments on any of my media will go into the draw. Somebody suggested that I split them and I do 2 packs, you know, one of each in each pack, but I said I'm going to do this, and I'll be doing more giveaways anyway. So I've got a nice box of scented candle wax melts giveaway planned for Halloween. So, you know, there's other opportunities coming up. Okay, so take care. Thank you very much for joining me. Sorry for waffling, and now I'm going to go and have a nice drink and relax. You do the same. Thank you. Bye-bye.